On this video, I'm out here with Sade and doing a little bit of work out on the street here again. My neighbors are right across the street here doing something with their vehicle. So again, I have her here at a little bit of an offset angle. You notice here I'm nudging, I'm tapping the leash here a little bit. Just again, this is still part of a kind of a de-stressing exercise. Okay, so again, understanding that it's all about relationship, about control, and there was a lot of stress on Sadie before she came to me, which is again normal considering you know, how she was connecting with her owner. Now here again, this is, I understand this is all fixable stuff. So here my focus is on, again, coming out into more of a kind of a distracting area. But here's the thing, she's already starting to relax more and more, because even out here I'm just nudging a little bit. I'm just keeping, notice here I still have her on the pressure collar, and I'm just keeping enough influence through it to give her comfort, okay, but then also be able to, you know, assert influence, a little more influence at times, to bring her into agreement, okay, with disconnecting from whatever it is that she's investing in. So this is a good little exercise, because here I'm using my neighbors here as kind of a distraction exercise without them kind of knowing it. Okay, so here, and I got one of my vehicles is sitting here and kind of semi, you know, blocking a little bit. And so here she comes up out of the sit. Again, I just put her back into it in a very smooth and fluid way. And they're talking and stuff, so I'm going to move her forward a little bit more to kind of. So what you do here, and this is a great example, this is kind of opening that window up a little more, as I call it, to kind of cause her to want to invest at a certain level, but not in such a way that it's going to cause high challenge and high conflict. So when you do this type of thing, it's like a boundary type of exercise. So it's like you're setting up boundaries by way of distance. You know what kind of how far you should be at first, and you want to keep it within that range for a certain amount of time. Because right here I'm sideways with her. Again, I'm in control, and you know, this is about messaging. So I'm sending her the same consistent message all the time. Again, knowing that she has already gained a level of control, and I need to intercept her state of mind. But again, it's not about cranking and yanking. If you're ever cranking and yanking on the leash and collar, that means you're waiting too long. Okay, this is about being proactive. Being proactive is really the key with being successful and closing in those gaps and beginning to affect change. So, and proactive means you're knowing, okay, just like a selfish child, you already know what they're going to do before they do it, and not in a good way, because you know that's the thing of understanding the relationship side of things right here. So if she turns her head, see it, just give her, again, just apply enough kinetic method, okay, to buckle her back to me, and then I release. So, and releasing, so understand there's always release points. There's always, like, she gives, I give. Even though this looks tight, understand that this is one of the things that you have to kind of, this comes through experience and through actually doing it, is knowing just where to be on that line, so to speak, when it comes to the level of influence that's being asserted at the right time through the collar and through the leash. But because you're proactive, okay, this has a certain level of influence already through it, because so they're talking over. I'm going to turn her. There we go. Turn her. Doing good. I'm going to again put her back into the sit. I'm going to buckle her again. So again, we're not going, this isn't about distance. We're not going far here. We're just staying right here, because this is all we need to do. Okay, this is about rebuilding the relationship. So you're dealing with a dog that is very, very reactive. Okay, you need to break it down at this level. Now here's the thing, I talked about this before, there's times that you just have to go. Okay, whether it's going to the vet, taking the dog to the bathroom, okay, you got to move faster. Okay, that's just the reality of things. However, okay, you want to spend the time coming out like this and being very intentional, okay, with the method this way, the integrity of the method this way. And so what it does is it weaves it together. Okay, people want to know kind of how this all kind of comes together to affect change and change perceptions of a dog. It's about how it weaves together. So if you're doing, say, 60% You just got to go. You got to move. You got to go to certain places. Okay, you do that. But you're still increasing the integrity even through that. So you're moving faster, but you're keeping the dog right beside you, not out in front. You're still stopping every, say, few yards to affirm the method. Okay, and then with coming out like this, when you've had your cup of coffee, that's key. Don't do this if you're distracted. Okay, you have like 5 or 10 good minutes of really good focus. You've had your cup of coffee. You feel really good, because this can be a little more intensive. Then you come out like this, and you just take your time, right, and just end on a good note. Good note means that you're done maybe a little bit more. You're creating some really good moments, and then you stop. But it's not about good in the sense of praising and petting all over your dog, because again, then you're changing the messaging. This is about, again, I mentioned this before, the replacement for positive way that it's being marketed or promoted in the dog training world, which leads to serious problems for people. The replacement by way of this interaction-based approach, the fact you're taking stress off of your dog. So again, you can feel really good about the moments on the inside, but don't manifest that through touching, petting, because what that does, it changes the whole messaging. The dog will start to think they're going to gain control through that, and you're defeating the purpose of what you're doing. Okay, this is just the same thing. So this is about reversing. Okay, it's a type of intervention. So again, there's people out here. So I'm just taking my time here. I'm just tapping here a little bit. Just working her. There's activity out here, which is great. Vehicles and people. So yeah, and so here, this is just a de-stressing exercise. And so if you look at her body language, okay, you see her ears are back a little bit still because there's still stress on her. This is a transition. Okay, this is about relationship change. So what happens though, she pops up for a second, not a big deal. I just bring her back around, put her back into the sit. Pop her again here in terms of just, when I say pop, doesn't mean with the leash. It means asserting influence to buckle her state of mind. And then, again, just hanging out here for another minute. Just taking my time. But I'm focused, understand, I'm focused on her mind, all right? I'm focused on how she's investing. Because the idea here is we're turned towards a neutral area, and this is a reasonable demand put on her. And I'm using this, again, as a relationship changing exercise. This is about control and beginning to bring her into a state of relaxation as a follower. So again, the big takeaway in this video is how this weaves together, okay? Sometimes people look at the method and say, well, how does this kind of weave into, I have to move faster with my dog, I got to go places. Well, it's like what you're doing is percentages, kind of like a 60-40 percentage, but even in the 60%, you're moving faster, you're still starting to increase the integrity of how you're interacting that way. Okay, so don't let your dog get out in front of you. You're changing certain dynamics, okay, to line it up even better. So, but this type of a focused exercise like this, it's very, very intentional. Okay, it's like one step. You want to apply the kind of like the one-step type of method. So, all to say, Sadie's doing great. I can tell she's already releasing a lot of stress, not just here, but overall. She's more confident already. She's starting to, be more motivated to follow. So notice that just that quick turnaround. Just again, catch those moments, right? Vehicle goes by. She's doing really, really good. So again, we'll be continue to work on this type of exercise here for these. Like I said, this is phase 1, so this is more focused on relationship change during phase 1. Before we get into the task specific training, this is